Hello, welcome to the Tuesday afternoon stretch and movement. So it's a nice gentle movement just to feel a little bit of blood flowing in our bodies and have a little bit of a stretch as well. You don't need to be warm beforehand, you don't need to have done any movement beforehand. We're just going to take it nice and easily. And today I really wanted to kind of start from the bottom and work all the way up to the top. Just getting a little bit of movement going and feeling really good. So thanks so much for joining. Let's start with our feet about shoulder width apart. And to begin with, actually, I'm going to do some breaths and we take our shoulders up in the rolls as we do so. So lifting it up, breathing it in, exhaling, taking it down, lovely, lifting it up, exhale. Number 3, and out. Number 4, and out. Number 5, and out. Change direction, and out, in. Last one. Lovely, just getting some nice bit of oxygen going. And from here I want you to just lift one ankle and then switch it over with the other one. So we're just lifting it up and down, up and down. And because our feet are slightly wider, then it might be that your knees turn slightly out in this as well. That's totally normal, that's absolutely fine. Wonderful. Just getting a bit of movement in there. And then from here I want you to just keeping your hips still, just moving the legs. Lovely. So instead of rising up and down, just working it through the ankle. Lovely. And then focusing on one side, we're just going to feel it off the floor so the heel is raised, and then do little circles to begin with before taking it into bigger circles, circling the ankle round. Wonderful. And then change direction, other way. I always find I prefer it one way round than the other. Lovely. And then switching over to the other side. So starting with it on the floor and then feeling it up onto the tippy toes and then a gentle circle round. Start with a small circle and then as you start to feel comfortable in the stretch, you can start to take it into a little bit of a bigger circle. Lovely. And change direction again, starting small and taking it bigger as it feels comfortable to do so. Lovely. Fabulous. So starting to feel a little bit of movement in the feet. And then from here, we're going to turn onto the side, just so it's easier for you to see what I'm doing, but you can stay facing forward if you wish to. From here, you want to have your feet parallel with your hips. So I've not got my feet in line with one another. They are parallel with their hips, so they're staying straight. And then I want them to be about 10 centimetres apart. So there's 10 centimetres roughly 10-15 centimeters between my back toes and my front heel. And then from here what I'm going to do is just take my weight directly down, and my weight is evenly distributed between the two, and I'll feel a little bit of a stretch on the lower part of my calf or my back leg. So just holding it here for a little moment. And then stretch it out. Take a bigger step forward with your front leg and then leaning it forward. Actually, I want you to take a bigger step. Leaning it forward, and you want to keep a straight line from the top of your head all the way down to the back ankle, pushing the back ankle into the floor and just feeling a stretch all the way down the calf. Oh my days, this is such a beautiful stretch. I love this one so much. Lovely. And then lifting it up, switching it around to the other side, and again keeping your feet in line with your hips, bending it down. Weight is evenly distributed between the two, and just feeling the stretch on the lower part of the calf in your soleus. On the back ankle there. So just holding it here, just stretching it out. Beautiful step. Lovely. Straightening it out, bigger step forward, pushing your ankle into the back of the floor and then leaning yourself forward to deepen the stretch all in the back of the calf. Love this stretch. My calves always need a bit of a stretch. If you ever kind of like wear heels or do lots of jumping or running, then your calves nearly always need a little bit more of a stretch than you ever realize. Lovely, good. And then giving it a little bit of a shake out. And from here, I want us to actually just do like a little bit of a, I guess kind of, you know, just like a little bit of a movement, a little bit of a dance. Okay, I want you to take your hands around your hips and then taking them up to kind of chest height, and then take them above your head. just having a little bit of a dance with me, and then taking them back to chest height, and then taking them back round the bottom. Lovely. Maybe give them a little bit of a, I feel like I'm doing Charleston here. Lovely. And then take them back up to the top, having them a little bit of a wave. Turn yourself round. Let's do a 360. And then back the other way. Just having a little dance, a little bit of fun with it. Taking it back to chest height. Give them a little turn around. Try not to hit anything as you go round. And then take it back the other way. Keeping it chest height. Lovely. And then taking it back down. Just like, oh, I probably moved my mat doing that. How pretty. And you just get a little bit of movement going and putting a smile on your face. And then from here, we're going to take it to the hips. We're just taking our hips from side to side. Lovely. And then bending the knees, taking it back and under, back and under. So I'm just rocking the hips back and under, back and under. Lovely. And circle it all the way around. Just feeling it. Nice small circles to begin with. And change direction, other way. Lovely. Fabulous. Now we're going to do it with our legs straight and back straight. So pushing your hips forward. So I'm leaning back slightly, tensing the tummy a little bit, taking it to the side, taking it to the back. Maybe feel a bit of a stretch in the hamstring, taking it to the other side. Lovely. Take it forward, side, back, side. Lovely. And as you go, start to turning it into more of a circle. And just start with small circles. And then as you feel more comfortable, you can take it into bigger circles. As your hips start to warm up. Lovely stuff. Changing direction, starting with small circles. And taking it bigger. And bigger still. Lovely. Beautiful stuff. Good. From here, I want you just to step and kick your butt. So I'm kicking my plant at the same time. I'm going to do the sideways. So that you keeping your knees nice and low, and you're kicking your butt behind you. Lovely stuff. And then from here, we're going to take them up. So our knees up the opposite way. So taking the knees up. I'll try and do this forward, not kick anything. And then taking them back behind the butt again, trying to kick your butt. Oh gosh, this plant's getting a right beating from me. Lovely. And then taking it back up again. Just getting that movement in the hips, but in a way that's kind of quite gentle, but still quite energetic. Just to get the blood pumping around there. Lovely. And then from here, what I want us to do is take our knee up, take our knee out, put it back down. So it kind of opens your hip out to the side, and then lift it back up, take it back in, put it back down. Good. Taking it in, out, down, out, in, down. Good. In, out, down, out, in, down. Lovely. Switching over to the other side. Up, out, down, out, in, down, up, out, down, out, in, down. Trying to keep your hips square throughout this. So even though this hip starts to open out one at a time, it's taking it back in and out. Lovely. Let's give yourself a little bit of a wiggle from there. Wonderful. From here, I'm actually going to take us down a little bit. Take us down a notch. Let me just re-angle my camera so it's easier for you guys to see. In fact, I might lower you down as well. So it's a bit clearer. Wonderful. Oh, no, that's not wonderful. You can just see my floor. Ooh. I think that could work quite well. Ooh. Lovely. So I'm just going to take it sitting down. Oh, it's really wonky. 2 seconds. Let's reshuffle this. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to do this on my knees. So I'm going to be sitting on my knees, just sitting on my butt, and keeping myself nice and straight as much as I can. And then from here, I'm just going to bring my hands down to my knees and then squeeze my shoulders down and back. So I'm really kind of like squeezing in my back. So this muscle here is, and on both sides, is kind of squeezing to pull my shoulders back and down. And then from here, once my shoulders are back and down, I then want to like pull on my hands to really push my chest forward. So I'm really kind of like starting with the shoulders, then moving it more through into the back. Just feeling that stretch in the back, and you're opening up the chest at the same time. Lovely. And then switching it over to the other way. So shoulders round over to begin with. So I want us to really kind of just work on the shoulders first, and then push back. So then you kind of take your chest and push it back through your spine. So it kind of really emphasizes it. So it's not just the shoulders, but it's also your back as well. Lovely. And then taking it back neutral. Let's do that again, the others to going backwards first. So squeezing the shoulder blades back and down. So starting to open up, and then pull on your hands, push into a deeper stretch. I'm going to show you this side as well, so you can kind of see the difference. So in fact, can you see me with a black background? Let me take off one layer so it's a bit easier for you to see where I am. So to begin with, I've got a straight back, then I'm going to pull my shoulders back and down. So do you notice that it's just in my shoulders to begin with? My chest has kind of stayed where it is. And then to take it into a deeper stretch, I can then push my chest forward and pull my shoulders back even more. And then same in reverse. So first, I just rotate the shoulders around, and then I'm going to really push my back into it. So I'm really rounding out my back, particularly at the top. This is mainly just the thoracic part of the spine. So anything that's kind of attached from, so this part of the spine, anything that's basically got a rib attached to it, that's why we're working on. So taking it back, shoulders down first, opening the chest, and neutral, shoulders forward, rounding it over. Lovely, good. And then from there, we're just going to take it from side to side as well. So just leaning it over to the side, and I really want you to start to feel kind of like you're tensing your stomach there, and then taking it center and taking it through the other side. Lovely, taking it back center, taking it over side number one, and center, and side number two. Lovely, and then let's take it round all the way, and really use your shoulders and your back to make this whole big rotation. Lovely, good. Other way. Switching it round, feeling through all of these positions. Wonderful. Lovely stuff. Good. While we're here, feel yourself a bit nice and neutral. I'm just going to do a little bit of stretch in the arms. So we're going to take our arm over and then give it a nice pull in. I want you to feel that stretch come all the way down your deltoid. So your kind of that muscle sits on the top of the shoulder on the outside. Lovely. Just feeling through this stretch. Lovely. And then take your hand onto the shoulder and just giving it a nice little push up. Maybe you want to take your hand behind, give it a little pull to make it into a deeper stretch. Maybe bring it behind your head if that angle feels like it's really hitting the right spot. Lovely. And then let's switch it over to the other side, opening it, pulling the arm over, keeping this arm nice and straight, nice long on neck. So pulling the shoulder down as you do so, feeling the stretch in your shoulders. This is a stretch I have to use this stretch every day because my shoulders feel so tight all the time. So it's really nice to kind of find the stretches that really work well for you and yeah, make you feel really good. Lovely. And then straight it, hand onto shoulder, give it a little pull up. Maybe take your hand back. Maybe take it behind your head, push it back that way instead, whichever works best for you. So it hits the right spot for you. Lovely. And relax. Just while we're here, I want you to bring your hands onto the mat next to you and then turn your hands away. And you might just start to feel a bit of a stretch coming down, maybe the front of the shoulder ever so slightly, but more in the bicep here as well. Depending on how much you've used your biceps recently, this might feel like quite an intense stretch or quite subtle. It's, you know, obviously depending on how much you've used them, how tired they're feeling. Lovely. And relax it in. We're going to take that over to our shoulder. Keeping the shoulders back and down. Try not to get them involved. Just working the neck, just stretching it out. pushing away with the opposite hands, and then just placing the hand on the other hand on the top, just resting your hand on. You don't need to push down with the hand. Lovely. Lifting it up, switch it over to the other side, pushing away, and then just gently resting the hand on. Feeling the stretch all down the side of the neck. Lovely. Switch it back over to side number 1 again, and then just rest the hand. Maybe we will feel a little bit easier to stretch here, so we might be going into a deeper stretch now. Hopefully. And then lift, switch it over, and place. And take it off. Take your head completely down, interlink the fingers on the top, and just place the hands on the top, just feeling the stretch all down the back of the neck here. Just breathing through the stretch. One more breath here. And then gently lifting the hands up. Good. That felt really good. I hope it did for you as well. Lovely. So I've kind of done a little bit of all the way up and over, but I really wanted to kind of focus a little bit on our lower body. So I want you to take yourself down and lie yourself down. Hopefully I'm not in the plants. Lie yourself down on your back. I want you to bring your legs directly underneath you, and for this little moment I just want you to start to feel really comfortable. So I want you to just get into that position where your butt sort of sinks into the floor, your legs just kind of flop out, just where your feet just relax open, and then your hands are coming down, your shoulders are pulled down, they're not by your neck. And you're just taking this moment to kind of feel relaxed, feel comfortable, just as is, and just take a few breaths here. As you're lying here, I want you to feel and think where there's any tension that you feel in your body. So if you're lying here, now for me it's my hips a little bit. I know that they want to have a little bit of a movement and a little bit of a stretch. Mine, or also a little bit in my shoulders. I want you to just kind of scan through your body, maybe start in your toes, work all the way up through your calves, your legs, your thighs, your bum, your hips, your tummy, your back, your lower back, up through your ribs, through the front of your chest, through the back, through your middle back, through your upper back, over your shoulders and your neck, down your arms and your forearms, in your fingers. Maybe there's tension in your face, in your jaw, in your forehead, in your crown of your head. Just kind of doing that little scan and just checking where feels tight, where doesn't feel tight, where feels comfortable, where feels like it's got a little niggly feeling to it, maybe. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to lift up our right knee. You take your knee in towards your chest and just give it a little hold here. And we're just going to take it into a little circle. So we're just circling it round, really nice and gently, nothing crazy, nothing strenuous, just getting a little movement into your hips. Lovely, good. And then change direction, taking it the other way. Just taking these nice small circles. Keeping the whole of your upper body nice and relaxed. Should be just feeling like it's your hips doing a little bit of a movement. Lovely, good. And then pop that leg down, switch that over to the other side, lifting the left leg in, knee comes in towards your chest, and then circling it round. Just feeling that gentle circle in your hips. And it's just a small movement, it's nothing crazy. I feel like my plant's not in the right place today. Lovely. And change direction, the other way. Lovely. Good. Fabulous. And from here, we're just going to take that leg back down, picking up leg number 1. We're going to do the same thing as what we did when we were standing. So we're lifting our knee up, We're then going to take it out to the side, just let it relax as comfortably as possible. And then you're going to straighten that leg back down. So I've turned my hip out. So whereas leg one, my foot is kind of rolled out, or maybe a little bit more upward, then this knee is starting to unfold out. We're going to take it back up the side, taking it back in, and then putting it back down. Good. Lifting it back up, taking it out to the side, and then taking it down. Then lifting it back up and in and back down to the floor. Good. One more time on this side. In, open it out, and then straighten it out. And as you kind of do it more and more, you might feel it's more comfortable to open it out as it'll open more. So we're taking it up to the other leg. So lifting the knee in, taking it out, and then straightening the leg down, and then switching it over. Lifting it up, taking it back in, and then taking it down. Good. Taking it back up, taking it out. Hot now. Taking it down. In fact, I'm going to move this top. And then taking it. Oh, I forgot whether I'm out or in. I feel like I'm in, so I'm going to take it up and out and down and it and in and down. Lovely. We're going to take the two together. So taking the knees in, relaxing them out. So just take a little moment here just to enjoy that little relax. I love that feeling. And then you're going to, nice and controlled, take them back straight. So my knees are folded out now, my hips are folded out. I'm going to draw them back up so they're still, the knees are out. Then I'm pushing my knees back together and then take it back down together. Good. Then taking it back up. Let the knees unfold out. Then taking them straight, nice and gently as you straighten them back out. And then taking it back up and in and down. Good. Last one. Taking it in and out and down. And taking it back in, together and back down. Lovely. Taking the knees back in, and from here, I want you to just open the knees out and then hold onto your ankles. And from here, we're just going to have a little bit of a sit. Feeling the stretch on the inner thighs slightly, maybe a little bit in the hips here still, and just holding the stretch. Maybe just give yourself a little rock from side to side, just as it opens into the hips a little bit more. Lovely, good. And then if you wish to, you're welcome to straighten out your legs here and then maybe wrap inwards a little bit just to give them a little bit more of a stretch. Oh, I'm hitting my mantelpiece here. I need to change angles. So yeah, keeping those legs straight, just give them a little bit of a rock. Just give them, letting them hips open up a little bit more. Lovely. Bending the knees, bringing it back in and then bringing the knees in. Lovely. From here, I want you to take your legs up straight. Flex up your feet, maybe feel a little bit of a stretch in the back leg. Take them slightly apart, and you're going to bend your knees and grab the outside of your feet. So your knees are coming to the outside of your body, in towards your armpits. So they're kind of coming in towards your armpits, and just giving them a little bit of a pull down. And from here, even though we're in this position where our feet are palms up, soles up to the sky, I want you to try and keep your butt as close to the floor as possible, so that this will be really stretching in the hips. You might also feel this a little bit in the hamstrings, maybe by pulling your butt down. So I want to keep my butt down, but at the same time, I'm trying to pull my knees gently in towards the floor. I'm just holding it here. And from here, we can give our feet a little bit of a massage. Say, well done, feet, for looking after us, holding us all up. And then pinning that butt back down to the floor. Just breathing into your hips. Lovely. Bringing them together and then taking it back down. Take your feet over to one side so you can sit yourself up kind of in like a mermaid position. Excuse me. And then what I'm going to do from here is take myself onto all fours. From here, I'm going to then take my knee, thread it through, and then push my back leg back down. So we're in our pigeon pose here. I want you to just sink your hips down towards the floor, opening up that back leg, maybe feeling a bit of a stretch in your front butt cheek, the one that's with the knee bent. Lovely. And then we're going to fold ourselves forward. So leaning yourself over that front knee, just taking yourself down. You can bring your forehead down to the floor if you wish to. And just feeling through that position. So letting any sensations that might arise, just letting them pass through your body. If you feel any tension, just feel like you're breathing through it, and that tension will pass, the muscle will release. Lovely. Enjoying this here. One more breath here. And then you're going to gently bring yourself back up to that seated position. And then from here, what you're going to do is see if you can bend your leg and give it a little bit of a grab. Okay, so if you can bend your back knee and hold it. If that feels too intense, then just feel free to just hold it in this position or continue with your chest down. If that feels okay, you want to lift your leg up and just give it a little bit of a hold there. I like to hold the inside of my foot in this position. I feel like it opens up my chest a little bit more. Lovely. And if it feels comfortable to do so, see if you can bend your knee, getting your foot closer towards your butt, feeling a stretch in your quad a little bit more, maybe a little bit more in the hips. Lovely. Breathing through this. And then relax. Lovely. Good. Let's take ourselves back up to all fours and switch knees. So other knee comes forward, sinking yourself down into your pigeon pose, into that little stretch. Feeling stretch in the hip, maybe a little bit in the glute, on your butt cheek as well, on the leg that's folded forward. And just holding it here for the first moment, just letting your muscles start to adjust and get your body familiar with that position. And then as you feel comfortable, maybe comfortable is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Lean yourself forward and just relaxing into that position. Bringing your hands over your head, bringing your arms out straight, and maybe bringing your forehead down to the floor as well. And from here, you're just going to let your body do its thing. So letting that muscle relax, allowing the space and the opportunity for that muscle to just ease through any tension it's holding. Maybe you feel it more in your glute, maybe you feel it more in your hip. That's absolutely fine. Either way, there's no right or wrong. You're either feeling it here, if that hip's really pushing down, or you might feel it in your butt cheek, and maybe coming down the side of the leg, in the leg that's bent at the front. Just breathing through them sensations that are arising. And as you exhale, feeling them kind of tingle and melt away as you can develop deeper into the stretch. Lovely. One more breath here. Fabulous. And then gently bring yourself back up to that upright position. Now from here, we're still holding that pose, and you're going to bend your back leg and catch it with your back arm. And then from here, we're just going to hold it in that stretch initially. You might be really stretching out your chest a little bit here as well. Try to keep your chest close towards the front as much as you can, so you can turn to catch your foot and then start to easing it forward again. So your chest face forward, and this will just intensify your stretch a little bit in the chest and in the arm at the front. Lovely. And as this leg starts to feel nice and comfortable in this position, again, comfortable, perhaps the wrong word. As you get familiar with this position and the tension eases, and if it feels okay to do so, always go within your body limit, then feel if you can then take your foot towards your butt, so really deepening that stretch. And you should feel the stretch deepen in your quad, in your hip. You also maybe feel it in your butt cheek as well, depending on where it feels tight. Lovely, just breathing through. Lovely, one more breath, guys. Exhale, taking it back down. Lovely, good. Lifting yourself back up into your all fours position. And we're just going to drop our butt back down. We're taking ourselves back round. We're going to do one final glute stretch, so our butt cheek stretch. So you're going to lie yourself down, feeling nice and comfortable. Knees, feet on the floor, knees are up to the sky. Lifting up leg one, so mine's going to be my right leg. Bending it over my left knee and flex up the foot. Then we're going to push our knee away from us. So I'm pushing my right knee away from me. Lift up my left leg, and I want this to be in line with the floor, so parallel with the floor, pushing my knee away, keeping that front foot flexed. We're just going to hold it here. You should feel the stretch coming down the side and into the butt cheek as well. So the leg that's bending at the front, that's where you'll feel it. Now, if you would like this to be a deeper stretch, you can take your hands interlinking around your back leg. So my left leg, I interlink, pull towards me, and you can also use your elbow to push your knee away. And again, if you want to take this deeper, straighten your left leg, pull that in a little bit deeper. I personally, you can flex up that foot if you want a bit of a stretch in the quad, sorry, not the quad, in the calf here, up to you, point or flex. I also actually sometimes quite like to use my hand to push this deeper into that stretch. Super good if you've been doing loads of running. I love this stretch for that. Lovely. One more breath. And then switcheroo to the other side. So taking up the left foot, placing it on the right knee and opening it out and flexing up that foot. Pushing down, feeling a little bit of a stretch, then lifting it up the right foot so that you're really deepening that stretch into towards the glute. Interlink your fingers around the right leg, right thigh, and pulling it in deeper. Maybe use your elbow to take your left knee further away from your body. And then again, if you want to take this deeper, straighten that leg, pull it in closer. And at this point, I always tend to separate my hands, pushing my knee away on my left knee and pulling my thigh in closer to deepen that stretch as I need it. Depends on how tight they feel. Lovely. One more breath here. Making sure we're flexing that foot. And then relax, taking it back down and unraveling. Lovely. Take yourself back up and take yourself into your seated position. Excuse me, I really need to clear my throat. I think I need some bit thirsty. So we're just going to be seated in a nice comfortable position, back nice and straight. Feel free to grab yourself a few cushions to lift your hips up higher if that feels more comfortable. And we're just going to do our our shoulder circles to end. So we're going to lift the shoulders up, inhaling it in, exhaling it, coming down, lifting it up and in, exhale, up and in, exhale, and change direction, taking it back and forwards, and forwards, back and forwards. Lovely. I hope you have enjoyed that. I know I certainly have. We did a kind of like toes all the way up to the top, and then did a little bit more of a focus in our hips and our butt. So all that middle section where we can often hold a lot of tension. We often hold a lot of negative feelings in our hips, or spiritually, that's where often people will feel it. So hopefully that's really helped release a little bit of tension, release a little bit of negativity, and made you feel really good. I hope so. It certainly has for me. It's got a smile on my face, especially the dancing at the front at the start. I really enjoyed that. I hope you did as well. Right, my loves, I will see you in the next session. Have a lovely rest of your day, and thinking of you and sending you strength, love, and all the good vibes. Mwah! Take care. Love you lots. Bye.